What's up, guys? Welcome back to Project Freelance. I'm your host, Kay Anagonio, and this is the podcast for you. I don't care what it is you do. I don't care what it is you make. But if you want to do that thing or make that thing to the best of your ability and make it your career, you need to subscribe to this podcast right now. If you don't believe me, go down in the bottom, read the reviews. I think we have 5 stars. I think we only have like 1 bad review. But yeah, go check out the reviews if you guys want to know if people like the podcast, if you want to know what other people think of it. And if you like the podcast, do me a favor, go down there, give it a rating. Doesn't have to be 5 stars. You can be honest. Let me know. But I mean, 5 stars are tight, right? So I wanted to start doing something this year, and I've done 2 lessons. So I wanted to start something a little bit new this year, and I just started it in August. And so I've had 2 guests now on the podcast. This will be the second one. 2 students, 2 listeners, 2 of you guys. I've done 2 different Skype lessons. The first one was with a guy named Angelo from France, who I'm actually going to be meeting this week, thanks to this podcast, actually. So we talked about getting your music heard worldwide, how to spread your music beyond your local scene, beyond your nation, and get it to anyone's ears, everyone's ears. So if you're interested in that, just go check it out. It's called How to Get Your Music Heard Worldwide. And this week, I have Nicole on the podcast. Her username is Caru Photography 2019. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It will be down in the description. So Nicole has a school project, and she needed some advice. The project was to mimic an artist that you like, to recreate their style in their photos, but make it your own. So she hit me up and asked if I could help her out by giving her some advice on what she could do to make her project stand out from everybody else in her class. And I think she is going to be able to do that after this podcast. So I do have Skype lessons, guys. If you want to learn more about photography, filmmaking, freelancing in general, if you want to talk music, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to talk about. If you like make rings, I have an episode that I did with my friend Jared. He has a ring shop. He makes custom rings with guitar strings inlaid. They're absolutely amazing. They're called fretboard rings. They're really, really cool. So that was last week's podcast. So if you guys want to book a lesson with me, just go to justtheletterk.com/booking. You will find a form there. And if you fill that out, you can choose how many hours you want to do with me. We can do sporadically over a couple of days, or we could do one altogether, whether you want it to be an hour, 2 hours, 7 hours. That's up to you. I'm down to do it. I'll talk to you guys as long as you want me to about this stuff, because this is all I talk about. It's all I do. I eat, breathe, sleep, and shit. Film and photography and freelancing. It's literally all I do. It's 12:30 in the morning, and I'm recording this intro right now for this podcast so I can get it up. This podcast and all of these podcasts are sponsored by you. Yeah, you listening to this right now in your headphones, in your car, wherever you're listening to this, while you're pooping, on the toilet in the morning, before your shower. It's okay. We all do it. That's where we all listen to our podcast. It's fine. But wherever you are listening from, whatever you're doing, thank you. Without you guys, I would not be able to do this. We've passed 11,000 plays, which is just blown my mind. But all the links down below, there's things for adulting, there's things for discounts on Adobe software, and a ton of other links down there for you guys. Also, I have to apologize for the audio. Nicole had to record this outside, and unfortunately, it sounds like she lives by a place where a lot of trucks and planes go through. So I do apologize for the audio, but it's a dope lesson nonetheless. And if you guys want to follow along, I will actually be reviewing and critiquing some of Nicole's photos in this podcast. So if you want to check those photos out, head down to the description. There will be a link down there that will take you to a blog post. And that blog post will basically be about this podcast episode, and we'll have all those photos there. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this episode with Nicole. Thank you guys so much for listening to Project Freelance continually. I don't even know how many weeks we've done this, like 36 or something like that. It's been over a year, which is crazy to me. Has it been over a year? Yes, it's been over a year. All right, let's get into this podcast. Nicole, tell me about yourself and why you wanted to talk to me out of all the amazing photographers out there.
My name is Nicole, and I want to be a photographer. And I asked you because you are my favorite photographer. and like I've been watching you on YouTube for a while now.
Well, tell me a little bit about you. Like, what makes you interested in photography? Like, what made you want to take your classes, and where do you want to go?
Well, I wanted to like be able to do something to help people, and I feel like if I could help people see things they wouldn't necessarily see, or see things a little differently through my eyes, it would be like I just want to help people, basically. And like I feel like art's a good way to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of the universal languages we have. You don't need to speak the same language to look at a photo. So I think it's a really good way to like reach out and help others. And I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing this. Like I want to be able to give back because I went through school, I went through all the ups and downs. Like I have a degree in film production. Like like I want to be that source of like, I guess I guess inspiration, but I mean, that makes me sound a little arrogant, but I mean, if anybody can be inspired by what I do and create their own art, then I mean, that's a job well done, I think. Tell me about this project that you're doing. You want to like mimic a style?
Yeah, so we had to pick a photographer, and kind of use their styles like as in composition and exposure and all those, and try to mimic it in like our own work.
When you look at my stuff, are you talking about like my live music or like my landscape, like what do you like what did you see that initially?
Like I look at your landscape and like when you go into abandoned buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, like it's so crazy like the things you can do with the kind of photography I do that I didn't even know. Like for example, I just got a job offer from Airbnb to like they do these like hosting events where people will like submit for it, or they'll pay for it through Airbnb, and you get contacted and then you like give them a tour of wherever, which is cool. And I would be stoked, except they want me to take people to those abandoned buildings, which like, no, first of all, like not safe. Secondly, it's illegal most of the time. And like, Airbnb doesn't want that liability. Like, are they going to bail them out of jail when they get arrested? So, I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with photography. So, okay, tell me more. Continue.
We have 6 weeks to do the project, and like, we have to have 20 images, I believe, and she wants to take at least 100 and then pick 20 out of them.
That's not too difficult. I usually like 4 hours of shooting, I probably have like 150 photos, depending on what I'm doing. But like if it's like an urban exploration, it's probably like 250 photos by the end of like 3 hours, So it's not hard to like, I know like 100 is like a daunting number, but you have to remember like you're going to take 5 shots of the same shot, So that's 5 photos right there that you can dump 4 and keep 1, So it's not as scary as it seems.
I wanted to ask you, how do I get my pictures out there? Like, where do I start? That's been an issue I've been having. Like, I've tried entering contests and stuff, but that's as far as I got.
Okay, so you've done a couple contests, like photo contests?
Yeah.
Okay, do you, like, who did you go through for those, or where did you upload at?
I don't remember the website. I'd have to look, but it was some website, and it had a bunch of different lists of contests they had up there.
Sure. Yeah, it was probably either Viewbug or Guru Shots. Those are the 2 that I use, and I use them literally on a daily basis. Like I'm almost to the top tier. There's like 8 tiers in Guru Shots, and I'm at the top, almost to the top tier, which means I'll be able to start hosting contests to like give camera gear and shit away. So those, and like I started from 0 with those. Like 3 years ago I started, and now I'm finally like almost to the top. So they're really, really cool ways to like not only get your stuff out there, but there's also opportunities to like exhibit your work. So like if you upload something and they like your image, you can actually submit to be in an exhibition. So like your picture will get printed out and put up in an art show in like Germany or Russia or wherever. And the entry for it is only like $7. And they pick like 100 people. And so like whoever wins or whoever has the best out of those, like however many people, you get your shit put up in like an art display, which is insane. And like I had no idea you could do that, but So definitely check those two out. I'll send you like notes after this. Yeah, those contests are super cool because like you can win camera gear, you can win lenses, you can win like gift cards to like Adobe for editing software. There's all kinds of things you can go with through with those.
Yeah, that's actually why I started, because at the time the closest thing to a camera was like my phone, and I have like a not that good of a camera on my phone. But
It's better than no camera.
Yeah, that's true. I got a Canon. It was a Rebel XT, I think. It was like an older camera.
Is that what you're shooting on currently?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey, I mean, like, if you have a camera, you're a billion steps ahead of probably most people in your class. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm the only person in my class with an actual camera.
So you're the only serious person in the class with an actual camera, is what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, I mean, that just shows that you, like, actually care about what you're doing, and you actually are taking this class because you want it, and not because, like, you gotta take an extracurricular.
Oh, no, I don't need... I have 15 and a half extracurricular credits, and I only
Don't you need,
4.
like, 3?
Yeah, I need, like, 4.
Oh, my God. You are gonna go a long way in this industry. If you've done 15 extracurriculars and you only need 4, can you imagine all the shit you're gonna accomplish in your life?
This is actually the first year this class is a thing, because my principal last year, he came up to me one time at lunch just because he talks to everybody, and I was talking to him about photography, and he's like, oh, maybe I can talk to either the art teacher or the computer teacher about getting it as an actual class. So now it's the first year it's actually happening.
Look at you making classes without even knowing you're making classes. That's awesome. Holy crap. Is it just photo? Is it photo video? Like, what do you guys focus on?
Digital photography.
Oh, okay. So it's digital. Oh, that sucks. You guys don't get to use film?
I know. I like film. I have 2 film cameras.
I mean, then it's too expensive for a class to be like, here, go fuck up all this film and then come back with 0 images. Do you prefer shooting film over digital?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to actually think more about your shot when you're taking, like, film, because, like when you're shooting in film, I mean. Because, like, with digital, it's easy to erase it and retake it. But, like, with film, you're putting more money into every exposure.
Yeah, money, time. Like, but I admire that. There's a lot of people, like, I never got to study using film because when I was studying, I lived in Australia and it was too expensive. And like the previous year, their project they shot on film got destroyed when they were shipping it back over. Like, so it was like a whole nightmare. So unfortunately, I never got to learn how to shoot film, like video. But I mean, like, I know how awesome it is to do photo. So like just thinking about how much time and how much energy would go into actually filming a video on film, I like, it seems like a task that I don't even know if I could handle it, you know?
I think you totally could.
Well, let's see if we could try. All right, what else you want to know?
Just mostly, like, creating a career for myself.
Well, let's start with your project first. So what kind of stuff do you want to shoot for it? Like, are you trying to do, like, landscape stuff, or do you have, like, a subject?
Yeah, I think I'd like to do landscape. I really like landscape. I think it's my favorite type of photography.
And you live in Cleveland, right?
Yes, I do.
I mean, you guys also have a really cool city. You could do really cool city, like, I guess, like, landscape shots. Like, city skylines are really, really cool. And you can do a lot with those. But I'm trying to think about Cleveland, like, what I know. You guys have, like, Cleveland National Forest and stuff, huh?
Yeah, I live right by, I think it's a state park.
There you go. Walk outside, take a walk, go take some pictures. And then do you live in, like, a rural area, like in the sticks?
Yeah.
Okay, so, like, can you see the stars at night?
Yeah.
Okay, you should try to do some long exposures if you haven't done that stuff.
Okay.
And if you need me to, like, I can give you a crash course in it. But it's a really cool way to... I mean, you're already going to stand out from everybody else in your class, but if you do something like that, like long exposure photography, like, they're not even going to know that you knew how to do that. So I think it could be something that really, like, sets you apart from the rest of your class, the rest of your people. And basically long exposure photography it's almost like taking a video without moving the camera. You know, it's just taking a 30-second photo.
Yeah. I need a tripod. That's my issue right now.
You don't need a tripod.
But
find a stump.
Yeah, I guess.
Find a rock.
Yeah, but still, I need something to put my camera on, because there's nothing flat in this that I can put it on as far as where I've shot currently. So, like, I tried doing that, and my hand would shake, like, go crazy.
Well, go to that. There's, like, a Target that's in Cleveland. The only Target I know of that's in Cleveland. But they have like $13 tripods there, you know? Like, I don't know your budget or whatever, but, like, $13 tripod's pretty good.
Yeah, I got that McDonald's paycheck budget.
That's what I'm saying. Come in with those French fries. A side of tripod. Y'all need a number 2, extra mac sauce, and a tripod.
Actually, a Big Mac is a number 1. Get it right.
I don't eat Big Macs. I don't like all that stuff on my. I'm just like, can I have a hamburger with no pickles? Just the patty. Yes, that's pretty much it. It's fine. Throw some fries on it. It's great.
The new Quarter Pounders are where it's at.
Wait, there's a new Quarter Pounder? Okay, wait. We're gonna pause this and talk about food. What?
It's better meat. It's fresh meat.
What do you mean it's better meat?
It's fresh. It's not frozen. It's fresh, and like they're bigger. Like the other ones were kind of like our regular cheeseburgers, just like slightly bigger. But these ones are like, they're really good. They taste a lot better.
Is there like are they more expensive?
Yeah, by a couple of dollars. It's like
that makes
$4,
sense.
I think, for just the burger.
You want to pay for a burger with no cancer? You gotta pay more for that. I gotta try that though. I didn't know they had a new Quarter Pounder. I might go try that later.
Yeah, it's really good. It's what I always get. We get free food for our breaks, so I get that with bacon and mayo and no mustard is where it's at.
Wow, you go in hard. See, I don't like mayo, but I'll do mustard. I'll do mustard and ketchup and some bacon and some Quarter Pounder. We can make it happen.
I taught myself a lot of things because photography, like I said, wasn't a class before. So I like went out and searched online for like tutorials and understanding exposure and aperture and shutter speed and all of that. So now everyone in my class always like goes to me for advice on that. And like we had to critique each other's work the other day, and then like so we like would switch, and I had theirs, and I was like giving her like, oh, too much exposure, and like drop the exposure down because we have to edit it. So that's what we were helping each other on. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, yours has good lighting.
I know.
Helpful.
Yeah, you're like, great. Thanks for the criticism, guys. For everybody listening to this podcast, I'm going to put like a link down below so you can see photos from Nicole. And then, yeah, Instagram, all that stuff too. So this picture, were you in a car when you took this? Or by the road?
I was just standing by the road.
The sky is so pretty. So you did an amazing job. Actually, like, I'm super surprised because most people would totally fuck this photo up. They'd either make the foreground, like the trees in the ground, super, like, you know, bright, and then the sky would just be completely white, or vice versa. Most people expose for the sky, and then they get all dark, like darkness, where all those trees would be. But I mean, you did a solid ass job. This is not an easy photo to take. You know, you got these trees in the foreground that are relatively dark, and you still want that, like, that blue skies, those blue skies. Well, I'm impressed by the photo, that's for sure. The one thing, like, I would say is, and this isn't something you can do now, obviously, because you don't have the gear, but, like, one thing that would make this shot give it a little bit more detail is if you had, like, even like a white piece of styrofoam, you can bounce the light up from the sky. It'll bounce off.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that in my class the other day.
Yeah, so like a lot of people are like, oh, you gotta buy this thing with these 3 different... No, you can literally go get like a piece of styrofoam, like anything that's like white that reflects light, you know? So you just bounce it and it bounces up and lights up underneath your subject, or like wherever the sun isn't here, the light isn't hitting, just to like fill it in a little bit. So that's something that you could do, but I mean, other than that, this is a solid photo. And was this off your phone or off your Canon?
That was off my phone. That was before the Canon days.
I mean, for a phone photo, it's dope. I like it.
This is like a $20 Android phone that I got from Walmart too.
Yo, Android killing it. That's awesome. I don't either. I actually am really mad. I just got the iPhone X 10, whatever. And I hate it. I hate that there's no fingerprint scanner or home button. I hate that I have to keep fucking trying to swipe up. And like the face detection doesn't work when it's dark and like all this shit. Like I just want my phone to open, you know? And I got it like a month ago and they were like, nope, you got to pay half of it first. I'm like, why? I don't want it. What do you want to do with photography? Like as a, like career wise, like what are you trying to, like who would you want to work for? Like what would you want to shoot? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, landscape or wildlife is the goal, but I recently got into portraiture, which I wasn't a big fan of when I first started taking pictures. But recently I've been liking how you could do different styles with a model.
Yeah. I think you probably saw it how I did because I wasn't a big fan of portraits until I started, you know, meeting like cosplayers and performing artists that like brought something more to just like a photo, like a studio photo shoot. You know what I mean? So yeah, I totally feel you. I've definitely grown more as a photographer since I've started shooting portraits. I'll say that because like if you shoot one style and then you take that style and you start shooting a different style, it just becomes your own and it becomes super unique and it will just like basically inspire you to keep doing other styles, really, because like at the end of the day there's not really anything we can do. And I mean, for me, anything we can do like wrong as far as photography goes because it's an art. But for me, like I actually didn't want to shoot landscape stuff when I first started. The reason I did was because I got super depressed and I forced myself to go outside and just like go for a walk, go on a hike, go somewhere. And I took my camera with me and then naturally I started taking photos of shit that was around me and landscape photography.
That's actually how I started getting into photography. It was very helpful mentally.
Yeah, it definitely can take you out of what's going on because you're focusing on creating something, you know? And I think the idea of creativity, whether it's with your hands or with your brain, you know, as far as like photography goes, it's a very like brain-oriented kind of activity, but you're also physically getting out of the area or the room or like the small space that you're in, which I think helps a lot as a human.
I recently moved, actually, so it's very helpful because now I have this park right down the street, and, like, there's a bunch of new things I can shoot because I was just shooting the same thing over and over again because I didn't have, like, I don't drive yet, so I didn't have a lot of places I could go.
Do you have a bike?
I did until my brother's friend drove it through our freaking fire and broke it.
Drove it through a fire?
Yes.
See, this is the kind of shit, like, I wish I was there and had a camera, because what? Okay, first of all, was he, like, jumping a ramp, like, trying to be in the circus?
No, he just rode directly through it.
What? Just cuz?
Just cuz.
He was like, oh, fire, I think I could just, wow. Scratch that. I was going to say, if you have a bike, you could go ride your bike everywhere. But, yeah, no, the fact that you have a park across the street, dude, are there like a lot of dogs and shit that go there?
Yeah, actually, I've been taking pictures at our football games too because it's my senior year in high school. So I'm making a senior year scrapbook for all my friends, and my friends are, 2 of them are cheerleaders and in marching band. So I thought it would be a good idea to do some pictures at the football games for them.
Good. That means you can practice like sports photography, try to take photos of dogs running real fast. I don't even need it. Why are we doing this lesson? You just teach me. So it's your senior year, which is awesome because you're getting like you're shooting all these different types of things. Like if you can go to like, are you going to college? Like, do you have college plans?
I'm still unsure. I keep going back and forth. Like, I was thinking maybe doing business, like be a business major and just take some photography on the side because I feel like that might help me a bit more than a photography degree because I was looking into like jobs and stuff, and a lot of them didn't require a degree. But if I have this business, I could start my own business, like photography business, or if photography doesn't work out, there's some other ideas I had for like YouTube and like gaming and animation, stuff like that.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about us having this conversation and you saying those things about the things you're studying, like when I was graduating high school, like those weren't an option. You know, like YouTube wasn't like a career option like it is now. So like it's interesting having this conversation even from 4 years ago when I started doing this professionally, like animation and games design had just been introduced at the school I was studying, like, so it's crazy to me that you can like, I don't know, just like be a YouTuber. I don't know. It's just, or like, it's not that it's easier. It's just that it's more easily accessible because the people that studied like with me, we're creating the new courses, you know? So we're like bringing you guys in, but you're teaching us all this new technology that we have to like catch up with. So it's super interesting to like get that perspective. But yeah, I think a business major or minor or whatever, getting a business degree is a great idea. I wish I had done more business stuff because like the amount of times I've been screwed over for not knowing what the hell I'm doing is like ridiculous. Like if I had if not even a degree, if I just had more knowledge when I started, then I would have probably saved myself a lot. So I think that getting a business degree just in life for life is just a good idea.
Yeah, I thought it was a better idea because, like, I want to do YouTube. Because I like really want this creative outlet as a career. But like, if I have business, it's something I can fall back on no matter what.
And because you live in Cleveland, like, I feel like you will have probably, I don't know. I mean, like, you guys have a fucking bomb ass music scene there. So if you're not shooting for local bands, you better get on it.
Yeah, I actually was trying to get into that. My brother just joined a band recently, so I asked if I could, like...
There's your in. And, like, what's he gonna say? No, I don't want you to take photos of my band that I can put on social media. Like, he would be an idiot, first of all. But, yeah, getting in with your local music scene is very, very important. If you want to do, like, music photography, obviously, especially, it's actually super easy, and you have an even easier way because your brother's in a band.
This next one I'm going to send you, there's a couple of the same because I was messing around with shutter speed.
Wow, this is a great... I wouldn't even have taken this photo. That's great. This is a great photo. I don't even have anything to say about this photo other than, like, it'd be dope if an ant was walking on that tree right there. So you would go, like, the Nat Geo kind of route, like, nature-y kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, me too. That's what I've always wanted to do. Nat Geo. My friend just got his first assignment with Nat Geo, and I'm like, tell me everything I need to know. Tell me everything. Because I hear, like, if you want to shoot for Nat Geo already knows who you are. So.
I was actually on looking for a podcast to listen to one day in school, and I looked up photography, and I happened to come across this, like yours, and I was like, whoa, she has a podcast? That's awesome.
Okay, so you just typed in photography and my podcast came up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so good to know. Oh my god, that means like all of the stuff I'm doing on the back end, like when I upload to add like the tags and all the descriptions and stuff, that means it's working. It's so exciting. That makes me so happy. Sorry to like freak out, but like, fuck, that's cool.
I think it was like the first
That's so
thing.
cool. Oh, that makes me happy. Okay.
I was really excited about that.
And that's why I made it, because like I was like, well, there's nothing on here. Like I need something, so fuck it, I'll make it and ask my friends to like teach me shit. And so, yeah, podcast. Wow, yeah, your stuff, wow, I don't even need to say anything. Like, I would love to go shoot in the forest with you. This is great. These are great.
Did you do Warped Tour this past year?
I didn't go to a single Warped Tour.
That's depressing. I wanted to go this year because I've never been to it, and it was the last year for it was very depressing. I ended up being busy the day it was in Cleveland.
Yeah, I was out of the country when it was in California, so I was like, yeah. I was really upset. I was going to go and fly to like one of the other ones, but it was just like last minute kind of thing. And I was like, well, if I go, I want to like ride with it for a few days. So then I got to find a bus to sleep on. And then I got to find, you know, like all that shit. So, I mean, like you're having a Skype call with me.
I
like,
know.
That's fucking dope.
This is freaking me out.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's like, and I'm telling you about your photos right now. Like, feel special.
I feel
because
really
you are special.
I didn't even think you were going to answer my Instagram message.
I mean, I do my best. I feel like I get more than I actually do, and I just can't see them. Like, Instagram doesn't show me, or like whatever. Okay, so this one, my only note is that I would have gone a little bit lower and probably gone farther away. Just because you now that you have like a more of a tree, you want to see more of the tree.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I actually thought about going down, but I had a sprained ankle. I still have a sprained ankle, but that's why I didn't go down on that one.
Well, back up.
Okay.
Take a couple steps back.
All right.
You get it. But no, the fact that you thought about it, good. It's good you thought about it. But yeah, no, definitely. When you have like a subject that consumes the frame, that like takes up the entire frame, if you can get more of it in there, the better. Because like people are going to say like, well, how big is that tree? Is it a big tree? Like, was it a big tree?
It was a decent sized tree.
See, I would have just thought the tree got cut off at the top right there. Flowers. Oh man. See, the flowers are the one thing like I don't get it. I don't know how to do it. I can't make it look pretty. I can't make it fill a frame right. You know, like not good with flowers.
That was actually something I did at work because I was...
At McDonald's?
Yeah, I was
They have flowers at McDonald's?
Yeah. We had flowers right outside.
Oh. Duh. I thought you meant like there was like a vase of flowers like in McDonald's.
Well, we do. We have fake flowers in McDonald's.
Gotcha. Because everything's fake. Except that new quarter pounder.
Exactly.
My first job, and like the only job I really had before I started freelancing, I was working at this restaurant taking photos. Like, you know, when those people come around to your table when you're at a big family restaurant and they're like, okay, you guys want to take photos together? And then they try to sell you prints of those photos. That was my job. Yeah. Like, photos people could take on their phone. I was trying to sell them. So, exactly. And it was like commission based, so it was like if you don't sell photos, like you're not going to make a whole lot of money. But yeah, I was making enough money to literally pay for my gas cuz that's how far away I live too. So yeah, good on you for making that choice to move because got to make some money. But yeah, your flower photo. Oh, I bet. So yeah, I like your flower photo. I'm not that skilled as a flower photographer myself, but I'd go a little bit closer. Why not get those petals right up against the edge of the photo? You know what I mean? Like frame it with the flower. What sugar? Sugar.
That is liquid sugar.
Are these like syrups?
It's for iced coffee.
Gotcha. Zoom out. I want to see what it is. Let me see or spin the label at least. Like spin it so I can read it. Because I'm like, it took me a second. I was like, is this IV fluid or... that's basically just the iced coffee, right? It's just that.
Yeah.
And then like a drop of coffee.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, portrait. Okay. Why am I looking at a car in the parking lot? Get that car out of there.
Okay.
Go lower. Go to like you want the top of their heads to be at like the top of the frame, you know? Cuz they're the subject. It really is like the car is just there. Even like crop it if you want. Just crop it down to the top of their heads. But I would just go down. Just go down a little bit, you know? But you were taking a photo of people sitting at a table, and that's like an awkward photo to take anyway. Mm-hmm. Cause I had to take it a lot, so it's not an easy one. And if there were like people on the side closest to us as well, and you're trying to like fight around them, like I get it. This kind of shit's not simple. But yeah, I would go down a little bit. Get rid of that car. We don't need to see that.
All right. Unless
the car's like involved. Like for example, if this was like a like the scene in Split, before they go get in the car, they're in the restaurant, right? He would be getting into the car right now. Like, I would see him getting in the car, and that would be me knowing that some motherfucker is in their car. That's the only reason I would need to know the car's there.
All right.
Because everything in the shot means something. Like, everything in the shot needs to mean something. So, like, if that car doesn't need to be there for any reason, other than that, it's a good portrait. That's just more of a framing kind of thing, really. I'm glad you're actually, doing shit, and getting involved, like shooting sports at school. That's awesome. Like, I wish that I had started photography sooner. Honestly, I didn't start like my photography until I moved to California. Really, I wasn't really taking photos, and I was like traveling all over the world and didn't take photos. Like, what the fuck? So now I gotta go back, but like, it's you have a great opportunity to shoot so many different kinds of things that will only help you, one, become a better photographer all around, and will give you, like, you'll also be able to say, like, oh, your school has a football game, like, pay me $500, I'll shoot your school's football game. So if you go to a college with like a sports team, obviously get in with that. Even if like you're not taking photography, like, you should figure out how to do that. If they don't have like a photography dedicated to, sports there, like, make it. And it seems like you're already kind of involved with things like that. Like, you seem to be an influence on other people to create things, which is awesome.
Yeah, I try to be involved at my school.
See, again, flowers. Fucking great. Yeah, see, I didn't give a shit. I wanted to be as...
Yeah, well, neither do I, so I'm trying to make it at least slightly enjoyable.
Like, I love theater and stuff, but like, I don't know, I didn't like anybody in school.
Longest time, did not have any friends. Now I'm a senior, have like 3.
See, and that's fine, because you know what? Your friends are great, and I don't know how close you guys are, but like, there's like a 99% chance you guys are not gonna be friends in 3 years.
Right, yeah, I know. That's what got me for the last 3 years.
Exactly. You're like, it's gonna be over, like, it's fine, it's fine. But I mean, like, okay, for me, for example, I went to school with a bunch of like really fucking smart kids in high school, and they were all like going to school to be lawyers and attorneys and doctors, and I was like, I'm gonna go make movies and stuff. I don't know what any of them are doing. I know what one person is doing. She's a graphic designer. She's the only one I talk to. Like, and there were only 63 kids in my class. Like, I should know what they're doing, like what they're up to in life. But like, I know that my one friend is a graphic designer, and this other girl lives in Alaska, and her husband's in like the military. That's it.
That's cool. I want to go to Alaska.
I do too. It'd be great to photograph that landscape. Wow, that would be crazy. What if I could do... Okay, look. Mark my words. I'm putting it into the universe. A year from now, I'm going to do a brand partnership with like Canon or Sony or DJI, somebody. And I'm going to be able to take somebody to Alaska to photograph Alaska. And you're going with me. A year from now, it's going to happen. Mark my words.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. Now I feel the pressure. Now I have to make it happen. And that's why you put shit in the universe. Because you're like, well, fuck. How am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? But okay, a year from now we're going to Alaska. Pack your bags.
Awesome.
Woo!
Oh wow, I'm gonna be taking so many trips. My choir is singing in Disney World in March. Then
in Florida?
Yeah. In June, after my graduation party, me and my friends are planning a trip to, probably going to end up in Florida, but we want to go to Pride in Florida.
Go to Pride anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
I went to San Francisco Pride when I was like 12 or 13, and it was like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I think I was like 17 when I went to San Francisco Pride, but I didn't actually get to go. We didn't even know it was happening until we were leaving, and I begged my dad. I was like, can I please go out up the street and see Pride? And my dad was like, hurry up. So I go off there and like I got literally the entire experience in like 35 seconds because it was like in the middle of the parade, so everything was crazy. Everybody was naked and dancing and colorful. And then across the street was the one dude standing on like a milk carton box, like one of those boxes you carry the milk in, with a like repent your sins, like God hates gays, like sign. And I was like, this is it. This is it. It was perfect.
Yeah, we didn't even know it was happening. My aunt lives in San Francisco, so we went out there to visit her, and we just happened to be in the area eating lunch, and like it went by. It was super cool. Like I walked like near it and stuff. It was cool. Yeah, my family didn't like it too much, but they're pretty homophobic, but it's cool.
I feel like everybody is a little bit. Like I've started noticing things. Like even my friends will say like for example, we were watching a movie and my friend was like, oh, there's about to be butt sex. I just want to let you know there's about to be butt sex. I was like, if it was straight sex, would you have said anything? Like, who gives a shit? Like people still, even if they don't like recognize it, they're still like, I'm uncomfortable with that. It's not okay. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's
like, let me warn you, the gays are coming.
I sent you another picture that's from my selfie project that we had. Yeah, we had to take 10 pictures of ourselves, and I was not cool with that.
Yeah, it's always an awkward thing. Yeah, Did people just like screen cap their Instagram and just give it to... See, that's sick, though. I love that kind of shit.
I wouldn't even be surprised. She's like, don't just do some...
like selfie,
like stuff off your Instagram, stuff like that. I want you to put actual thought, and I want 10 different pictures.
Yeah, this is tight. I love this kind of stuff. I love mirror photos. I think they're great. It's a great way to like, I don't know, it just looks fucking good. It looks cool, you know? You can see the camera, you can see the person that's taking the picture. It's a picture of the person that's taking the picture. It's amazing. Mirrors are tight.
This is actually my favorite out of the bunch of where I turned into the project, but it was actually my last one. I needed one more, and like I ended up deleting a couple because I didn't like them, but I was about to leave for school, and I was like, I need one more. I don't know what else to do, so I did that, and it actually turned out to be my best one.
Isn't that crazy? It's always like the accident or the mishap or like the thing that was like rushed that turns into like, that's the one. Yeah, I love that. The framing looks great. Everything looks great. Exposure, color, everything. That's an awesome photo. You done good, kid. Canon sponsor this podcast.
Yeah, I got this camera used off eBay for $80 with the lens and the charger and stuff.
See, people don't give a shit, you know. Some people are like, well, I'm going to throw it away, so $86. Do you want to do video as well, or just like photography for now?
I think I want to do video.
Yeah.
That's actually, I used to mess around with video cameras more when I was really little. Like when I was really little, I used to say I wanted to make movies and stuff like that. And like I had completely forgot about that until I actually started doing photography.
Literally the same thing happened to me. I used to like film my own like home movie, like skits and shit, you know? And then like stopped.
That's what I wanted to do, but I had no friends.
See, I didn't either. I literally just filmed shit by myself, like, and started like playing around with iMovie, but then I just like stopped for whatever reason. And then when I started, you know, film school, like it all came back. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works, right?
Mhm.
That means you're meant to make movies.
This picture I took at my neighbor's baptism.
I like that. That's a cute photo. I love photos that are like dads holding their kids or their hand. Like I love like just in general. I love a dad that gives a shit. But like photos of dads with their kids, those are great. So let's see. So there's a little bit of motion blur. So that's the only thing I would say here is like.
Yeah, I did notice.
But I'm sure it was kind of dark in there.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that churches are kind of difficult to shoot in. I think it's because there's a lot of like ghosts. Just spirits everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, that's the only thing I would say for that is like you got a little bit of motion blur.
My friend was actually saying how she wants to get her senior pictures done, but she doesn't know where. and I offered to take them. So she's like, yeah, that's cool. So I actually am going to have get to work harder on portraiture. Just something I definitely need work on.
And it's because somebody needed a favor, you know? And so you're going to do that, and she's probably going to be like, oh, yeah, she took my photos. Like, so everyone's going to come ask you and be like, yeah, I'll do it for like $50. For like $100, for like $500, like whatever you want to charge.
My mom, I'm actually getting mine retaken because my mom doesn't like them. And she's like, oh, it's $200. That's way too much. So if I could charge less, and then more people would want to get them from me.
There you go. Boom. See, you already know your like base price. Like, you know your competition's price. So if you charge like $100, dude, boom, easy. You should take your own senior photos.
I was actually thinking about that.
Because you could take them anywhere. Literally. Like, go to a here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to a paintball shop. Okay? You're going to buy 2 smoke grenades. You're going to get a red one. No. Yeah, you're going to get a red one and a green one. Or a purple one. You're going to go to a park. You're going to set up your camera. Put that self-timer on. Photo. Smoke grenades.
That would be
yes.
Freaking badass.
And no one will ever beat your senior photo. Or go into the city at night. There's like probably some like really cool, I don't know, places in the streets. Here we have like Chinatown in the streets. We have like Chinatown here, and there's like a lot of, you know, like Chinese lanterns everywhere and like really cool scenery. So I mean, I'm sure Cleveland has plenty of that stuff.
There's a Cleveland sign that just got built, and it has like the Science Center and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the background.
That's awesome. I love Cleveland. So cool.
It's pretty meh.
Listen, because you live there,
yeah,
go explore the city. Go explore the city.
Yeah, once I get my car.
Or I'll come to Cleveland and I'll show you. I'll show you what's the... Yeah, get a car first. That's important. Do a couple senior photos. Get a car. Hey.
I'm waiting till I'm 18 to get my license because it's like $400 for driving classes. And once you're 18 in Ohio, you don't have to take driving classes.
That's insane that wow, that's crazy to me. They'll really just try to get your money, huh? Mm-hmm. You want to drive before you're 18? You got to pay for it. Who cares if you're capable? You got to pay for it.
Exactly.
It's fucked up. Stupid. I can drive the car. Give me the license. Let's go.
It's okay for kids who have mom and dads who pay for everything.
I mean, still, I don't think it's okay. I think it's exploiting children, honestly. Yeah. I don't know. That's just me. I grew up in Oklahoma. You drive whenever the fuck you want to drive, and then you get a license you get your permit at 16, and then you get your license at 17. Man, I wonder how it is now, like, if kids try to, like, get away with driving with their permit with, like, nobody else in the car. Like, I want to know if it's worse than it was back when I was, like, a teenager. Not that I didn't even drive I didn't start driving till I was 21.
Really?
Well, I lived in Australia before, like, when I would have been able to. So I didn't want to learn how to drive on one side of the road and then come here and try to drive on the other side of the road. So
yeah, that
didn't really make sense.
Actually, I think I remember you saying that in a video. When I discovered you, it was your covers. I specifically remember the first cover that I watched of yours was at the beginning you said you were moving to Australia.
What video was it?
I think it was Bones Exposed.
Oh, Mice and Men. Man, you know what? Austin Carlisle, I love that man. I love him. He's great. I'm really sad that he had to, like, step back from music. But what are you going to do?
A Day to Remember, was it them that I was thinking of that broke up?
No. I hope not. There's no way I would know this. There's no way.
Because I remember my friend texting me one day. It was one of the bands that I used to listen to. Okay, no, it wasn't A Day to Remember.
Thank God. I appreciate you reaching out to me about this, and I hope your project goes well.
Thank you.
I mean, I know it will, but...
Thank you for the help and stuff.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. DM me some, like, photos whenever you get stuff up.
All right.
Cool. And then for everybody that's listening to this later, do you want to tell them where they can find your stuff?
My Instagram is Crew Photography 2019. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just use that. I actually made it a couple of days ago just to get my work out a little bit.
Perfect. Go give her some follows, guys. All right, guys, that was Skype lesson number 2 with Nicole. I got hit up on Instagram a couple days ago about a school project, and the project was to mimic another artist that you liked, like mimic their work, like take inspiration from their work and take your own photos. And Nicole reached out to me and was like, hey, do you have some advice you could give me? And I said, yeah, let's jump on Skype. So that's what I did. So if you guys want to book a class with me, you can do so at justtheletterk.com/booking. And if it doesn't work over there for some reason, just find me on Instagram at KENAGONIO. That's K-Inagonio. On Instagram, you can DM me there, or on Twitter, same username. And use the hashtag Project Freelance. I'll talk to you guys next week on the podcast. Thank you so much, Nicole, for taking time out of your day to let me tell you, I don't know, my advice. Hopefully it helped. And I can't wait to see what you do with your photography in the future. Good luck. And hey, don't forget, we're going to Alaska in a year from now. Man, I hope Canon reaches out to me. Canon! I gotta go make a phone call.